Bitch, I'm dying, Sheck Wes. Live Sheck Wes. Bitch, I'm dying, Sheck Wes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Svetz Series. Josh Svetz here, and today we are taking a look at the new debut album from Sheck Wes, Mudboy. This is the first album coming off of his Good Music signing, and you probably know Sheck Wes from his hugely popular, ultra viral single Mo Bamba. And from there, he continued to put out dope singles like Live Sheck Wes, Bitch I'm Dying Sheck Wes. I love that song. As well as a feature on Travis Scott's latest record, Astroworld. Basically, Sheck is just an energetic, charismatic, and hype performer that pretty much is what Designer was supposed to be. He fills that exact role. But what I've always loved about him is he knows his lane, he sticks to it, and he makes just off the wall, crazy, energetic tracks that you just put on to get fucking hype and never deviates. The man is just a fun artist. The downside to this though is artists like Sheck Wes usually can't keep up the performance for a whole project, with some choice exceptions like the Without Warning collaborative tape, the perfect pregame Bull Sesh soundtrack. And actually, this album starts off excellent. Mindfucker is, well, a mindfuck with dark, heavy 808s, these crazy sound effects, and just Sheck coming on the track with insane energy, great flow, and the production really playing to his strengths. Sheck has a nonchalant and cold-blooded demeanor, serving as a solid opener overall. Live Sheck Wes is, well, you watch the intro, it's amazing. I love it. It's so energetic. The chorus is crazy catchy. I love the light keys that go so quickly. This is one of my favorite tracks of 2018. And yeah, I know, it came out in 2017. Shut the fuck up! It's just the perfect track to dance and jump and forget about your insecurities and just go fucking wild. This is what mosh pits were created for. This is why people go to concerts. Tracks like Live Sheck Wes. The quality continues with Gmail, bringing these crazy 80s arcade synths, and the bass drops in with this heavy distortion. Sheck also jumps on here with some raw energy. Wanted is a grimy minimalistic banger, and Chippi is the perfect track for a smoking rotation. 5 tracks in, and so far this album has exceeded my expectations. I really didn't think that he'd come through with something so fucking good, and he knows exactly where to put it. He's not deviating, he's not making some stupid love song, he's not making some really minimalistic lo-fi barely hearable mumble rap tune. He's just making energy, hype tracks, great for booling. This worked for Without Warning, and if that tape is perfect for the pregame and Bull Sesh, then this tape by Sheck is basically after hours smoking a bunch of blunts. But sadly, this album falls off a cliff, and it has no chance of climbing back up. It falls to the fucking bottom. Never Lost has some dope production, but the singing on this track is cringe. Like, I get it. Kid Cudi is one of your biggest influences. In fact, when you first started rapping, you named yourself Kid Cudi or something like that. His name's really hard to pronounce. But, dude, you did not have to sound like you were fucking making Speeding Bullet to Heaven on this one. And it only gets worse on WESPN with just an unlistenable harmony, and the hooks on this thing are genuinely horrific. I know that Sheck isn't a good singer. I've heard Mo Bamba. But the difference with tracks like Mo Bamba and Live Sheck Wes, what makes them exactly pop is there's humor and energy and charisma. There is this tongue-in-cheek factor into it. The problem with these last two tracks I've talked about is he's being completely dead-ass serious, and that just doesn't play well for an artist like Sheck. Burn Slow is a painfully awkward and offbeat listen, and Jiggy with the Shits is just bleh. It's just a very bland track and extremely forgettable. Fuck Everybody brings the energy back up a little bit as it has more humor, some tongue-in-cheekness, but at the end of the day, things have already been ruined, and it's not nearly as good as the first 5 tracks, so there's not too much of a point of even going back to it. Though I do appreciate the earth-shattering 808s and some of the experimental factors of the track, especially the outro guitar. We finish out the album with Danimals and Vehement Socks. I think I said that last part right, but regardless, the former being a sleep-inducing, boring track that I do appreciate the Wiz Khalifa aesthetic, but Sheck does not pull it off. And the latter being a step up, but ultimately forgettable. Honestly, what the fuck happened? I think the best way to describe this album is, you know the episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob's trying to pass his driver's test and he's always been super bad at trying to pass the test, and all of a sudden he starts doing good because Patrick's in his ear, so he stops thinking about his insecurities and just drives? Well, then all of a sudden he loses Patrick in his mental and he lets his mental take him over and he starts driving terrible, and at the end he hits something, doesn't get his driver's license. Mrs. Puff pulls up and she goes, "Oh, SpongeBob, why?" Well, for Sheck Wes, "Oh, Sheck Wes, why?" This project opened with so much energy and fun, and I really thought that this was going to be 2018's Without Warning, and then it just boom, just fucking fell apart. It just got so repetitive and bland, and there's no humor, nothing interesting. The energy even went away. It got too serious at some points. The production can only hold it up for so long before it just gets tedious. Look, I'm torn here. On one hand, I really think the first 5 tracks delivered and brought exactly the type of energy you want from Sheck, and of course Mo Bamba's great, and Fuck Everybody wasn't bad either. But on the other hand, there's some tracks on this thing that are some of the worst songs that I've heard this year. And I listened to fucking Lonzo Ball's album. Ugh. But I think the biggest problem is I didn't really come into this thing with huge, crazy expectations. I just wanted a few bangers. But when you open the album with so much potential and so much energy, and then you just crash and bring a huge letdown for the rest of the tape, it just sours the listening experience as a whole. You can put these tracks on like a playlist and you'll be fine. But like if you want to listen through this thing, you're gonna be pissed. But hey, I didn't like Mo Bamba at first, and then one day it just clicked. So maybe that'll happen with some of the tracks on this album. Okay, no it won't. IDK guys, I wanted to love this. I still love Sheck Wes. I love what he brings to the table, and I believe that he can make some great tracks, and the energy that he brings is crazy. Live Sheck Wes is one of my favorite songs of 2018, but fuck, man. So if you asked me what I thought of the new Sheck Wes Mudboy, I'd tell you, I don't know. I don't hate it outright. I bet Fantano's gonna give it the red flannel if he even bothers reviewing it. But, God, just some really bad material scattered with some great gems, but more bad than good here. But what did y'all think? Comment below and make your voice heard. Was it completely trash? Is it a masterpiece? Am I stupid? Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm just not getting it. I don't know. Whatever you think, comment below and make your voice heard. Like, subscribe, and don't be afraid to criticize. This has been the Svetz Series. Now send me your queries.
Red and black sweater like my name is Freddy. Color spaghetti. I so messy. Pico khaki. Never lucky. Keep that 30 in my jacket. Look at the diamonds, they on hush mode.